Welcome back. You're watching Buy Now, Sell Now. It is time to take the queries that have been pouring in from all of our platforms. We've got questions coming in on WhatsApp as well as on YouTube and our other social media platforms. Now, a quick reminder, if you're tuning in for the first time, you can send us any query that you'd like, preferably not a micro cap and not a penny stock. If you've got the stock already, tell us what level you bought at and also how long you intend to hold it for. The first, or rather, let me introduce my guest. We've got Nirav Cheda, who's derivatives and technical analyst at Nirmal Bang. Thank you so much, Nirav, for joining us. And Vikas is with us as always. I'm going to take the first question to you, Nirav. And this is a question coming in from Toronto, Canada. It's from Rahul. He's got 2,000 shares of Zensar Tech at levels of 500. And if we can pull up the year-to-date chart for Zensar Tech, it's had a bit of a rough ride in the year-to-date so far. He's wondering whether it's looking weak on the technicals and should he exit?
So, good morning to all. First of all, see Zensar Tech, if I see, it has seen a sizable fall from 550 odd to about 300, but it has made a good base. So I don't know if it's going to be holding for 6 months to 1 year more, but from a trading perspective, I believe it should definitely go up towards the 400, 420 odd levels, which is where an important resistance is placed. Also, it's 200-day moving average is placed around the same areas. So that is where one should be exiting. The overall long-term chart has become weak, but yes, there is a definite bounce. So let it come to 400 and then he can probably exit the stock.
Good morning, Nirav, as well as once again, Mr. Sethi. A lot of short-term queries, but let me take this one to you, Vikas. This one is from Harish Kumar, and he wants to know whether it's the right time to enter the banking stocks altogether. No doubt he wants to know only for the shorter term, but over the longer term as well. How is the banking sector looking to you? Because we need to keep in mind that we have the Federal Reserve meet next week, and they are all set to hike rates in that as well. So how does banking sector look to you?
Yes, I like this both from short-term as well as a long-term point of view. And as far as the Fed hiking rates is concerned, it's a known thing. And I am sure the market has already factored in that, unless they hike it by much higher percentage than expected. But I think anything between 0.25 to 0.5% should be nothing to worry about because it's already priced in. And as far as the banking stocks are concerned, I remain bullish on them. And I think they've corrected to very good levels. I like from among large cap banks, I think State Bank of India, the current levels, ICICI Bank, HDFC Bank, they're all come down to very good levels. And I think one should be buying into them. And as and when sentiments improve, these banks would really perform well. And from among the mid-sized banks, I think from PSU banking space, one could look at Bank of Baroda, PNB and Canara Bank. And from the private banking space, I think one can even look at an IndusInd Bank at the current levels. Then I think City Union Bank also looks good. So these are the kind of banking names which I like and would like investors to put their money into.
Vikas, this next one's also coming to you, and this is a question from Sankalp. He says that he's a new investor, but he's done some research into the EV space, and he's looking at companies like Olectra as well as FIEM. Specifically Olectra because of the contract that it has for EV buses as well as its supply to Ola Electric. Would you say that this is a good counter to enter?
Yeah, Alex, this company is also one company which I had liked and I'd recommended on various platforms at pretty low levels. This company has a tie-up with BYD from China, which is the world's largest manufacturer of electric buses. And I think BYD is one company where even Warren Buffett has put his money into. He owns stake in BYD. So their tie-up with BYD is a very good thing as far as this company is concerned. The stock has been doing well, although it has corrected from its recent highs. But I think one can look at this company, but I think one should look at opportunities on whenever it falls, then one should be looking at buying into it. And as far as FIEM Industries is concerned, that's also an excellent auto component company, and they've some sole authorization for some parts for Ola electric vehicles, which would augur well for that stock. The stock also has corrected recently, but I think any further correction or downside in the stock should be used as a buying opportunity. I remain bullish on both the stocks if one has 1 to 2 years horizon.
Sundaram, and he's asking about Jubilant Food Works. He has 50 shares that is purchased at 3,300 rupees per share. He wants to know whether he can average now for the 6 months, for a 6-month period. What's your take on this one, Nirav? Can he do that with Jubilant Food?
Yeah, basically, the stock here has witnessed a breakdown of the 3,400 odd levels, and it is a double top kind of a formation. So I don't think for a 6-month period he should be averaging here. The stock has become negative in the longer term period, and it can correct down towards the 2,200 odd levels. 22 to 2,400. This is the range where he can probably average. Not at current levels. Having said that, for the next 2 or 3 days, 2 to 5 days, I believe there can be a bounce up to 3,000 odd levels. So if he can exit his stock around those areas, exit it, and then probably look to buy around the buying support range of 2,200 to 2,400.
I think this answers your question as well. Prashant Narayan wanted to know about Jubilant. He's bought at elevated levels of close to 3,400 in fact. We've got another question coming in from Anjali, and she's writing in from Nashik. She says that she's bought Glenmark Pharmaceuticals, and she's looking to buy Glenmark Pharmaceuticals, and she wants a technical view. Nirav, can you provide one?
Glenmark, of the all pharma stocks, this has remain in range. Basically, if you remove about a month's period, it has remained in range of 525 to about 450. It is now near its bottom area, good support area. So 440, 450 is a good buying range. I definitely believe one can be buying Glenmark at this level. It should move up towards the 525, 550 odd level, which is its upper range. So book profits around those areas. You can buy at current levels with a stop loss of 430.
Right. This one is coming in from Anchal Jain and saying that she's got 19 shares of SBI Cards purchased at 755 rupees per share, got them in the IPO, and it has come sharply down from its high levels. Can it reclaim the levels of around 1,200 rupees per share? On the charts, Nirav, how is SBI Cards looking to you?
See, SBI Cards is looking weak. The basic structure, if you see, there has been quite amount of selling around the 1,000 odd levels. It has made a triple top kind of a formation, given a, broken the important support area of 925, and the confirmation has also come. So it can go down further. So I believe do not average at current levels. Wait for about 700 odd levels, which is where the stock has very good support area. It can probably consolidate for some time over there. So let it consolidate there and then average this stock, not at current levels.
Okay. Okay. I hope that this helps a lot of people out there. We've got a question coming in from Vivek for Sethi ji. Sethi ji, he's asking for an aggressive portfolio that he can invest in for the next 5 to 7 years. I do not know if now is the correct time to be very aggressive, but what portfolio mix would you suggest? 5-6 names is good enough. Let's not go into 15-20.
Well, it's very difficult to name 5-6 stocks just instantaneously. One would certainly need to give a thought to it. However, I think the markets have corrected quite substantially and are presenting a good opportunity for long-term investors. I do not mean to say that the markets cannot go down further 5%, 10% from these levels, but if one is a long-term investor, one can certainly invest in this market at the current levels. It's very rather impossible to catch the bottom. So I think he should divide his portfolio among sectors. Like IT is a sector which is an evergreen sector. One could look at a TCS or an Infosys or an HCL Tech from the IT space. Then I think banking looks good. It could be a proxy to the growth in the Indian economy. And I've given you lots of names from the banking sector. I think HDFC Bank, ICICI Bank, SBI would fit that bill. Then I think textile is one sector which is very dear to me, which I've been recommending over the last 1 year. And some companies from that sector which could turn out to be multi-baggers in the years to come would be a KPR Mill or a Vardhaman Textiles or an Ambika Cotton. These are the kind of companies which one could look at. Metals also look good. Metals, I think it's a structural story which would continue to play down the line. So one could look at some metal stocks also. So I think he could make a mix of it. EV is also a great opportunity. So some companies from the electric vehicle space also would be a good theme to play on. And chemicals also looks good, where we have a competitive advantage, and with the world looking at China plus one strategy, I think chemical companies which have really done well over the past 2 years would continue to do well. So some companies from the chemical sector one could look at. So this is the way one should build his portfolio and stay invested for the next 5 years. It doesn't. One should not be worrying about a 5 to 10% further correction from these levels. I think current levels are good levels to buy from a long-term point of view.
One should not be worried if there is further correction in the markets, but use those opportunities to actually buy on dips. This one is from Mr. Balan, and he's saying that he had bought NOSIL at around 240 rupees per share and Himmat Singh side at around 280 rupees per share. He wants to know whether he should stay put with both the holdings or go ahead and switch them to either Godrej Properties or SBI. What's your take on this one, Nirav? Both of them are very... The shift that he wants to make is a very different sector and stocks altogether. He has NOSIL and Himmat Singh side, wants to know whether he should book profits or actually move out of those and go to Godrej Properties or SBI.
Okay, so the first two stocks that he mentioned, out of which NOSIL is a super stock, super formation. It hasn't violated its long-term charts as of now. So its long-term support lies around the 180 odd levels, and it hasn't violated that, and which is a very good sign. So I am expecting a good bounce in NOSIL. Having said that, it has a resistance around 225 levels. Once that is broken on a weekly closing basis, definitely this stock can go up towards the 300 levels. So you should stay put. If it comes down to 200 odd levels, 180 odd levels, you should be buying more. For the another stock, Himmat side, I definitely believe this stock has made a double top. Many stocks in this downfall have made double top kind of formations, and the confirmation has come below the 220 odd levels. So I believe this stock can go down further. So if he can probably switch from this, he should. Both the other stocks that he mentioned, Godrej Properties and SBI, are worth investing. So one can put in money. Both have corrected very well as well. I believe banks will show good strength going forward. So SBI probably can do 50-50 in both. Move out from Himmat side and put 50% each in SBI and Godrej Properties.
Okay, next one's for you, Nirav, and we've got a question coming in from Tina. She's asking if this is a good time to enter Page Industries.
See, Page Industries, if you see, first of all, not many retail people buy this stock. That is one. Having said that, there's not much selling in this stock because there are not many retail people in this. So this stock hasn't really corrected yet, and it is continuing to make a higher top, higher bottom formation. A very good formation for this particular stock. It is now consolidating and just near its breakout level. So 42,000 is its breakout level. Once it does give a breakout above 42,000, definitely it is a buy. It can go up towards 45, 47,000 levels. So I will suggest, even though it is a good stock, buy above the breakout levels because the flag will be violated on the upside. So after that, the stop loss would be around 41,500 odd levels. You can get a good 3,000, 4,000 rupees upside.
This is from coming in from Shushrit Patnaik, and this one is on the QSR space. So I will take this one to you, Nirav. He has 750 shares of Burger King that purchased at 131 rupees per share, 400 shares of Devyani purchased at 118 rupees per share. We know that Burger King stock has been falling off late, so he wants to know whether he should book some loss in Burger King and rather invest that money in Devyani, or should he look at Jubilant Foodworks for the longer term, that is?
Yeah, see, Burger King, I don't have much data, but definitely it is falling. I believe, one should book out from Burger King and Jubilant Foods. It's a tried and tested stock, but there is some more downside to it. So, wait for it. Devyani also, the data isn't much. So, on the charts, the next nearest support really is around 140 odd level. So, one with a stop loss of 140 you can buy Devyani, but from a trading perspective, move to banks. They've corrected quite a bit, or probably cement. They've good correction is in store. I would suggest move to banks, some bank like an SBI or an ICICI, and in cement space Ultratech, if that's possible, or something like an Ambuja Cement. They'll give you good returns going forward from a trading perspective.
Right. Let me take this one from Mr. Kumar, and he's saying bought 1900 shares of Adani Wilmar stocks at around 350 rupees per share for the last 1 year, for the next 1 year rather. Wants to know what's the view on Adani Wilmar since it's a recently listed stock. I will come to you, Mr. Sethi, on this one. What is your view on Adani Wilmar? Do you track this one?
Actually, Cheryl, I have not looked at the fundamentals of this company very closely, and would not be able to offer my comment on the same. But I think there are very much better opportunities elsewhere in the market. So I would advise the investor to look at some other good quality sectors and good quality companies to invest into.
It's time, gentlemen, to hit the rapid fire segment. Nirav, since you're joining for the first time, just a quick point to you. Try and give us a view as quickly as possible. We'll hit you with as many questions as we possibly can. The first one's for you. Vikas, Jet Airways, would you at all venture into this? Randhir wants to know.
No, not really. If one were to look at the aviation sector, I think Indigo and SpiceJet would fit the place.
Okay, Amit Chog wants to know about Industar. It almost touched its 52-week low past week. Currently, it's trading around 212 to 214 rupees per share. He wants to know whether it's correct time to enter Industar. What's your take, Nirav?
Yes, from a trading perspective, it's a good time. Good volumes have been seen near the 200 level, so buying can come in towards 240 odd levels. You can buy with a stop loss of 205.
Achal wants to know about Happiest Mind. She's got shares at the IPO price, and she's got a long-term view. Should she hold on, Vikas?
Yeah, certainly. It's a good quality company. I like the mid-cap ITs.
Okay, Chetu is saying that she wants a long-term view on Tata Chemicals. Should I be exiting at near my cost price of 940 rupees when it reached, as there's a lot of further hiccups in the commodities space? So what's your take on this one, Vikas? Stay put with Tata Chemicals?
Yes, certainly. I should stay put with Tata Chemicals, fundamentally a good company, plus it's a play on even the elite vehicle segment. I would recommend a hold on this stock.
I don't know who was asking this, but Cipla, and I think a lot of people are looking for a view, Vikas, on this one. If you're holding Cipla and you have gains, would you book out from here and move to another pharma company?
And I think Cipla within the pharma space looks good, so one can still hold up to it. I see 15-20% upside in the next 1.5 years.
Okay, this one also is for you, Vikas. Amy Organics or Tattva Chintan, which one is better?
I prefer Tattva Chintan. I think it's a good quality company, and one should look at Tattva Chintan from a long term.
MCX or BSE, which one would you prefer, Vikas?
I'll go with BSE, but both the stocks are good. Both are doing well today, but I think as far as exchanges are concerned, I think BSE would do well. And we are likely to see the IPO from NSE, and it will be a proxy to the demand, the huge demand which NSE IPO could witness.
Right, and talking about BSE, it's actually touched its all-time high levels today, surging in trade as well. But on that note, we're totally out of time on the queries segment as well as the rapid fire on Buy Now, Sell Now. Thank you so much, Nirav, as well as Vikas, for joining us on the show. And
I do want to point out that we had issues with the WhatsApp queries that came in, and unfortunately we couldn't take as many as we had wanted to. But thank you, as always, viewers, for tuning in. Do stay tuned. We've got lots more coming up in just a bit.